So you've played a lot of escape the room games, and the thought you always had was, wow, there should totally be zombies here.
I never really felt that way. In fact, usually the atmosphere of some of these escape the room games left me vaguely creeped out.
Well, then this is absolutely not the game for you, because this is a game 100% with zombies.
Okay, alright, well that makes sense.
It's meant to be kind of a horror game, and the way that they achieve that is through the use of darkness. As so many of these horror games do, they just make it so you can't see anything. You're always kind of expecting to have a jump scare. Unfortunately, this is a really, really bad horror game. It is not scary in the slightest. There's nothing frightening about it. The entire enemy structure is crap, and they give you guns, and they give you way too many bullets, but the bullets are really ineffective, so it doesn't even matter. It's not a good horror game. It's also not a particularly good escape the room. It's just there. Hey guys, this is Moriarty.
And I'm CryptoSpook. I did not want to play this game. I saw it come out, and I was like, I watched a bunch of trailers for it, and I was like, you know what, this does not look like my kind of, like, it looks like a scary game that Moriarty is at some point going to force me to play.
I would have, but it's more creepy than anything, but not particularly frightening.
I don't know, man. I was looking at some of the monsters the guy created for this game, and holy crap, talk about some nightmare fuel.
They're absolutely creepy. He got that down. It is creepy design. However, there's a lot of flaws that make this not a scary game. All of the enemies are killable, which means that there's no reason to run from them if you can just shoot them with a couple of bullets and kill them.
So you're saying that you found a lot of ammo, or you just don't run out?
There's lots of ammo. If you're even remotely decent at shooting a gun, you'll be able to kill them and not worry about it. There's not a lot of them, so it's not like you even really need to worry about having ammo. I ended up having so much ammunition that I didn't really care. On top of the fact that the enemies are killable, which I think is an important thing, but it's also a mistake. There's not enough enemies to worry about, and they're not fast or scary enough that you're like, whatever, and they don't do any damage to you. Like, if they hit you a couple of times, yeah, you take health damage, but they don't, like, one-hit kill you or anything.
Yeah, that monster that was creeping towards you with, like, his, like, I don't know, random metal appendages added to his body looked like he should do a lot more damage to you.
Right, so you don't die that quickly. You can kill them. It's just not a good enough horror game. But the problem is that this developer clearly tried to separate this into horror and escape room. And he didn't do a good job at any of them.
So you're saying this is the first crack at a puzzle shooter?
It's a puzzle shooter, and it shows some neat promise, but there's just not enough there. And I really couldn't say that I would enjoy playing this game for any long period of time. It has a somewhat unique approach to it in that you're in a house, and there are a whole bunch of doors. When you go through doors, it basically loads another little level. It has a couple of different locomotion methods, so you've got D-pad and teleport. I couldn't get D-pad to work, and was forced to use teleport, which I didn't actually mind all that much, but still, I know that for a lot of people that would be a big no-no, and you'd be done right away.
Yeah, I don't really like using teleport. If I'm forced to use teleport, it's probably going to reflect poorly. It's going to reflect poorly on your game.
Yeah, so you cannot kill yourself.
I see that. You saved one bullet for yourself.
I did, and I tried it, because quite frankly, after 10 minutes of playing the game, I was bored.
But that's okay, because the AI is apparently pretty terrible.
The AI is not very good. They're just kind of pathing, and when they do see you, they just kind of walk towards you. They're not scary. It's just altogether not a great game, and I can see where there's potential, but it's just not enough for me to worry about it. I kept expecting, like, a jump scare. I went into this expecting it to be really scary.
Yeah, I kind of did too. Based off of the way the game looked, I was like, man, this is going to be an absolutely terrifying game just based off of the goriness of these monsters that I'm seeing. But I guess it just isn't there. It doesn't translate well to the VR experience, which is unfortunate.
It is. You know, and I went in expecting to be scared. I was... I closed the doors, and, like, I made sure they were locked so nobody could, like, touch me and freak me out. I, like, told people, hey, don't call me. I'm going to be playing a scary game. And, like, I got prepared for a scary game.
My body is ready.
And it just never materialized. And that was probably the most depressing part of it for me, is that, like, I don't even like scary games. And I sat down and said, fine, I'm going to play a scary game. And I was expecting jump scares. I was expecting, especially with the darkness, that I'd turn around and there'd be things there and that they're going to come out of the darkness at you. And when they gave me a gun, I was like, man, this is going to be intense. And it just never was.
I think there's a couple things that they could do to improve the scariness of this game. For one, you need to add white noise at all times while the player is in the game, so that it heightens the senses and tricks the ears. You need to tone down a lot of this brightness. It's way too well lit. Really make it as atmospheric as you possibly can.
Yeah, the audio wasn't terribly impressive, that's for sure.
The inventory system seems kind of novel.
There isn't, it has an inventory system that's kind of neat. And it also does provide you a gun, which I think is a nice thing to have, because in a horror game, being able to fight back is really like the empowerment thing. But if it's going to be a horror game, then they need to be either a lot of them, they need to be faster, they need to be fewer but stronger. There's got to be something there that makes these guys actually scary.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Adding speed to these guys would definitely up the scare factor.
And if you're not going to add speed, that's fine too. Just make less of them, but make them really terrifying. Make them absolutely terrifying. If they touch you, you die. Make death a
permanent
painful
thing.
experience. Yeah, make it a painful experience. Put it, back pretty far. Make it a roguelike. Something like that. But in its current state, I can't recommend this game because it's not a scary game. It's a horror game that fails to be a horror game.
It's a horror puzzle shooter game that fails to do any of those three particularly well.
It doesn't do any of them well enough for me to say this is a great game. And that sucks. There's only like 3 puzzles that I even experienced that I would consider to be true puzzles, and they weren't very good. One of them was spell the word open and you open the door. One of them is a riddle that says I'm all around you and you breathe me in, and then there's the letters A, I, and R. Give you a guess what that one was. The final puzzle is you have to go into one room and look through a little hole. And I'll tell you, that was probably the scariest moment of the whole game. And it wasn't even because of the game that it was terrifying, by the way. One of the few actually scary moments was a puzzle where you had to find a hole in a wall and then stick your Vive next to the wall, stick your head next to the wall to look inside and see a combination for a safe. And this was terrifying to me, because I was expecting the whole time to have a jump scare.
Yeah, like somebody is going to like show up right behind you or something.
Through the hole in the wall. Have something look back at you. Like the whole time.
Yeah. So what you're saying is they missed it. They totally missed it.
Completely missed that. What ended up happening? Nothing.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I would say that this game has a lot of promise. I would say this is an early access game, not at all finished yet, and if they work on some of the things we talked about in this video, it really could shape up to be a good experience, including making it much, much longer.
Yeah, because I was able to beat the game in about 20 minutes.
That's certainly a very short game. So what would you say overall? What's your opinion of this game? I think you already say that you can't recommend it.
I can't recommend it. I think it's got some interesting ideas, and I think that they could flesh those out and produce something that's pretty decent. It's somewhat innovative in that it is a puzzle shooter, escape the worldy horror game. It's got a unique kind of thing going on there. It just doesn't do anything particularly well. If you're looking to not be frightened, this will be the game for you.
If you're looking to not be frightened, this is the game for you?
Absolutely. You want to tell people that you play horror games, but you don't actually play horror games? This is it. This is the one for you. Because it just, at no point was this game scary.
I imagine if you have your volume cranked all the way up in the Vive, this could be a lot more entertaining.
I tried to be scared.
You wanted to be scared?
I recorded my audio and everything. Like, I went into this expecting to be scared cryptless.
Cryptless?
We all know that you tend to be scared like a little girl. So I tried, and it just never happened for me. And I was really depressed by it.
Alright guys, well that is Organ Quarter. Let us know what you think in the comments down below.
If you like it, like it. If you don't like it, don't like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the Patreon. Don't forget to check out the Hello Juniper, where you can win a game of your choice, as long as it's one of the ones that we've chosen. And as always,
We'll see you on the next one.